But just a few words about the Arbor Forum. It's about leadership. How do we help each other in cultivating leadership, building up a network, and always looking at new opportunities. I think the hallmark of good leadership is being daring, being courageous, and taking the opportunity before they go to somebody else. As far as our dear speaker here, we have known the family for a long time. I'll just say a few things about what I have observed. Of course, there's going to be a long interview. Prestige, the brand identity started on Commercial Street. It was a family-run enterprise, a tailoring enterprise. But look at the similarity. The same brand continued with a bigger identity and expanded into real estate. What was it, to my mind, that made them do it? The same thing. Get the best plot, as planned. Get enough of it, the right size plot. Take the measurements, understand what the product fit is, understand what the customer wants, and make the best possible product. They always converted projects into products. Products which were desirable and continue to be esteemed. So with that, my dear friends, before we do this, thank you very much. Right.
Good evening, everyone.
A big hand.
Are these mics working already?
Yeah, they are.
You switch it on and
Yeah, it's this one.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I'll just switch it.
You can give me this.
Yes, I'll just mic him.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good.
Before we start, may I request everybody to please do a big hand. As much as possible to come here.
We can't hear you. Can you hear?
Can you hear me? A big hand to Mr. Rez Razack for honoring us today. The format for this talk is that we'll have a moderated Q&A for about 30 minutes. And then we open up the floor for discussion with everybody else. So please feel free to ask your questions once I am done. So let's get started. Rezba, you've been a market leader in the real estate industry for 30 years. This is a very mature and very competitive industry. What is the secret sauce?
What I'll do is I'll give you a little background before these questions surface. Sanjay messaged me in the morning, are you all ready? I said, I don't know what is ready. The only ready I know is Jagdish Reddy. Anyway, so he said, can I send you a list of questions? I said, I don't need any questions. You ask, I will answer, because there's nothing that is added, or there's nothing that, you're going to think and answer. So basically, Bangalore boy, born in Bangalore. So was my dad. We lived in Bangalore, schooled in Bangalore, college in Bangalore, Lex Theatre, Imperial, Plaza, saw the movies, dosa in airlines still there, but there are a few dosa places that have vanished. The drive-ins other than airlines, which is anyway half. So that's how we grew. And I used to cycle from school. St. Joseph's was the school on Museum Road, which is now known as the Boys High School, St. Joseph's Boys High School. Cycle from home for lunch. Before we could get a cycle or own a cycle, of course it was a second-hand one. It wasn't new. It was a Philips second-hand. I think my dad paid 300 for it. And it was also a big joy to ride and come from school. And at 12:45 was lunch break. So to come home. One of the things that was done at that time, for you it might be surprising, was that we used to count the number of cars from Museum Road to Infantry Road. Some days we would see 6, some days 8 going, and some days coming. Now we don't want to see cars. We want to see good-looking women. How many you saw on the road today? Even they aren't walking. Anyway. So that was it. And St. Joseph's Commerce College is from where I passed out. And as soon as I finished 75, I finished my college, the first thing my dad was, I think this guy now needs to get busy. So BB Kanga Road, here I come, 15 by 24. Prestige Textiles. We had Prestige on Commercial Street. That's where we, like Mr. Sikka said, Sanjay said that, tailoring outfit fabric. We had one outlet in BB Kanga Road, that's off Kempagoda Road. To go there 7 days a week, it was no holidays. So it's to go on a two-wheeler scooter. And I think a year later, my younger brother also, he tried St. Joseph's, he didn't succeed, then he tried St. Germain's. There also he didn't succeed, so he said, Prestige Textiles, here I come. And he was with me till 81 is when this kick of real estate came in, because we were selling fabric and tailoring. In those days in 1981, a net profit, 2 people working, morning to night, 7 days a week, was 75,000 rupees. It's a fact. Actually, in the 80s, I think we sold some ancestral property and some money came to my share. And that I invested in a site in Nandidur Road. And the erstwhile Mangaram, not erstwhile, because Mangaram and the biscuit people, one of them, bought that from me, and in the bargain, which is known as flipping, I didn't register it, I just bought it. By flipping it, I made 75,000. Then told me that I'm in the wrong business because 2 people working 7 days a week, morning to night, it's not done. This is better. So that's how I got into real estate. To answer this question, I'm expanded it longer than what it should be, but at least to give you a background. And this went on till something called 37I. The income tax got an article saying 37I, meaning to say that they have the right to purchase property at the price that is prescribed in the agreement. If they say don't want, then you can go ahead and do the deal with him. Because that time there was a lot of cash. So they had a fear, so they said this is where it is. So we said, why get into all this? The best thing is to start doing, build and sell. Because in those days, if I rented out a place to you, I couldn't get it back. So we said, let's do one thing. Instead of building and renting the whole place, let us sell it. So the theory was, let us sell it and make them the owner rather than renting and making them the owner. So that was the theory. Anyway, that's how it started. The first development was in Double Road, 6,000 square feet plot. And it was called Prestige Estate. No. It was called some Prestige whatever. No, I forget it. It's a long time. I shouldn't, but that's how it is. And we made it into office units. I think we were the first people in the country to do office units like how you do apartments. You make a building, break it up into pieces and make different homes and call it apartments. They were called units. And we succeeded, and post that we did 2 more House of Lords, Copperarch, etc. And then there was no looking back. Did I answer well?
No, that.
Okay, now you ask me, I'll
This
ask.
was the start.
Yes.
But you've got this pole position for many, many years. How have you achieved that pole position and how have you maintained it?
We never had a pole position. Nobody has a pole position. You always have to start from back and then inch your way ahead. The only thing that I think helped in reaching the pole position was that you had to be honest, you had to be sincere, you had to be very correct. You didn't deviate, you never did anything that is against the law. You followed all the laws, even the bureaucrats or the guys that sign your plans, etc. They say that if you sign the plan, even if it's not yet ready, they know that we won't add up 2 more floors or build additional square feet, etc. So the trust was built. That was what took us from where we are. See, today you hear of valuations, etc., etc. For me, it doesn't matter because we are all brick and mortar guys. We started from scratch. We never had. First of all, there was no money. Even I know that first time that we needed money was 25 lakhs. And that 25 lakhs, we had to go to Canara Bank to get it. It was so hard. And the amount of trips we have made to the branch and then to the head office with the branch managers to get that was like it. And that 25 lakhs was a working capital. It was not an outright loan which you could go and take it. It was a working capital. Anyway, things have changed since. And that has made reaching the pole position easier and faster.
Rez, when you get into newer markets, like for example when you enter Delhi or when you enter Bombay, there were other people in that quote-unquote pole position. What was your strategy to enter those markets or established players?
Actually, we didn't realize that, you enter any market, whether it is Hyderabad or Bombay or whatever, you need to be part of a local partner. If you're not, nothing works there. Nothing works. So everywhere that we have entered, we have someone local with us to show us the way. And of course, like it is that, it is again like going to the races, honestly. Because whatever you do, you have to take that chance. And the greater the chance, the greater the money. Only thing in this is that greed shouldn't be there. That, you don't overprice your product, overprice whatever you are trying to sell. That way you allow the guy to who you are selling make money. And he's the one who comes back to you. So that's something that we learned early in life because, we never had easy capital coming from the banks. So the best was to get it from the banks, which are the individuals. You bought for 100, sell it for 110, doesn't matter. Let him make 300 more. He's going to come back more and say, boss, I have more money, can I leave it with you or can I invest something? And we never took money on interest. It was all, you want something, you please buy, leave your money, thank you very much, and you can go. And I think in a way, maybe 50,000, 60,000, maybe a lakh of people have become crore-patis thanks to us. Because, I'm not everyone, because, only this morning someone asked me, we were doing some ground break and they said, Whitefield is now the destination. I said, yes. When I first went and bought, I said, it's not my grandfather or my father that bought. The first time that we bought land in Whitefield was for 50 paisa a square foot. Not even 50 paisa, maybe 45. 20,000 an acre. Because he said today the price is 30 crores an acre. So that's how things have changed. That's how things have changed and that's how things have gone ahead. And again, same, this afternoon, I met someone saying that, I'm staying in Prestige Shanti Niketan. And the price has gone up to 10 or 11,000. We sold it for under 2,000 rupees. And he says, Mal nahi hai. Shit. So that's how it is. So we priced ourselves right. We allowed the guys who bought from us to make money and then they have. And that's what's helped to reach the pole position. So you borrowed the gas from someone, meaning they also invested with you. You got the gas, you didn't have to pay. See, there are two ways. One is that, you sell it at a higher price and pay the interest of the bank, or sell it at a lower price and get the benefit and the thing from the guy to whom you sold, because he's also going to pray for you, saying that, you went to Rez in Prestige and he gave me this, and today I paid 1 crore, today it is 3 crores. That's how it works.
It's like you reach a pole position. Now, every day there is new competition. The markets are changing. There are new people coming in. There's FDI in the business. Things are changing on a daily basis. How do you plan to keep this pole position next 30 years?
Actually, it's not, we don't plan anything. We didn't plan to reach where we are. We never had an ambition to reach where we've reached. And we don't have an ambition to reach keep going because it's tough. I always say that, I wanted to, this was my ambition that, I'd sit under a coconut tree and drink pineapple juice. And I'm not able to do it. There is a coconut tree, but no time to drink the pineapple juice.
Next question. When the pandemic struck, everybody said that the real estate industry would face a lot of problems. Companies like yours completely catapulted into newer heights. You guys went from strength to strength, spectacular performance, while many others folded up. What was that thing you did differently when the pandemic struck and the pandemic came without a warning at all?
Actually, we didn't do any different than what we are doing today. What happened was, unfortunately, we moved to a new office in 2019. Pandemic struck in 2020. Then we had somehow planned, I think, for the pandemic to happen without knowing that it was planned. We had WebEx installed because we said we are going to a new office. We need to be technologically advanced. We have to be superior. So one of the things that was there, because we were going into a new office, and there'll be a guy who's in the 3rd floor, I'm sitting in the 11th. By the time he gets into the lift and comes to me, there's a waste of time. So best is to talk to him on the phone. So there was a solution that was WebEx at that time. Anyway, that actually really helped because when we were asked to shut down, we never shut down, really speaking. Only that we never went to office. But I think we bonded and became more advanced because we were on the VC from day one. Because what we were doing is just not work. We were also doing, we were trying to get people across, helping them to get the vaccination. There was no food. I think maybe 1 million people's food we would have distributed at that time. We did. Because the hotel in Whitefield that has a large kitchen. That is the Sheraton. There were no people staying there. We didn't want now, we wanted to keep our people active. So we said, from the kitchen, let us send the food out. So what we did was some 20,000, 30,000 meals were made every day and distributed. And somebody said, man, you're doing this, you'll be in trouble. You're doing things, you're doing it nice. It's a very kind gesture you're doing. Tomorrow, something happens in the food and somebody eats that food and something's happened to it, you'll be inside. So we said, thank you for letting us know. We used to make the food and then batch it and freeze it. So tomorrow if there's a problem on day 2, there is a food that's already batched and kept in the freezer. That if tomorrow it needs to be tested, it can be tested. Then we also distributed a lot of grains as well, uncooked oil grains, pulses, vegetables, piyas. Trucks of it was going. Anyway, that was one part. Second part was what happened was, I told you, since the office was closed, see, we have to be active. We were active. Every minute was not saying that, it's the end of the world, there is doom. We never stopped working. It was, the work was going on. And at some point, I think 10 or 15 days later, the government said that construction work can begin. So we said, we requested our contractors to do the work. To do construction as well, it's not only men, you need material as well. All other factories in the country were stopped. There was no material available. Somehow, I think because of the connection, we made sure that, the cement, the steel, the tiles, whatever was first sent to Prestige and then to the rest. We got it first and we were also ready to pay them, and for this we paid in advance to get it. So that made those guys, I met someone recently who said, sir, the highest payment we received was during COVID, where we thought we were going to end. So it's not something that, you help yourself to help. Today if I don't have money, that guy is going to give me the material without asking for it in advance. They'll say, you take it, I know that you will pay me. You paid me when I wanted, I'll give you and you pay me when you can. So that's The secret of any business is that it has to be a win-win for both.
Post-pandemic, things have changed. Like, for example, there is work from home, there's remote work, there's co-working. People have gone back to their smaller towns. How will this impact the real estate industry?
Actually, strangely, I think like most hospitals or doctors or the government or whatever, the day the government said it's time now for you to go back to work, everyone in Prestige has come back to work. Of course, this afternoon I was having lunch with some MNC and I said, I don't understand when everyone can go to work, including the police, the government officials, why isn't that you guys have got special? Because he said that we now insisting that at least you come 3 days a week, and the 3 days of the week they want to come is on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and from Friday to Monday they want to be on holiday, work from home. So I said, what do you do from home? See, my wife is a doctor. She goes wherever. I stay at home. I have elderly parents. I have a dog. So 5 days I'm doing this. So I said, there are other guys also doing moonlighting. They're doing 2 or 3 other jobs staying at home, and now they got so used to it that they don't want to go. But he said this is only because we are a multinational company. We are following what's happening in our parent company in the US or wherever we are, and we can't now impose them to work in India. And but strangely, nothing has changed, because every company, be it the smallest or the biggest, you hear of guys that are being, jobs are gone. It's the end of the world. Nothing is gone. They overhired, and now they are learning that to be in control. Every company, small or big, has to show result. They have to show growth. How do they show growth? They only show growth by, in the business that he's talking of, IT, is they have to add people. People is what makes a company grow and nothing else. You can't do it. He may talk AI, he may say, Chat GPT, it doesn't work. You need someone really to be there to do it, and that's what's happening. They are paying the rental. We just today concluded a very large transaction. I'm not boasting, but we just concluded 1 million square feet signed up. Yeah. So every week something new is happening, and some new company, because they are growing. They need space. They need to add people. Maybe they are all not going, but eventually they will. And most importantly, this is something that I want to tell Sanjay and all of you, that if 10,000 people are getting laid off in the US, 20,000 are getting jobs in India. Do you know why? Do you know why?
Faster, cheaper, better.
No. Yeah, cheaper. Because they are trying to say, okay, I've laid off. Today is time that I need to become more effective in costs. The only way I can become effective in costs is, the dollar has gone to 83, and India, is the place where we have talent, we have cheaper rentals, office space, cheaper electricity. So we rather move here. So jobs that are getting lost there are getting 3 times or 5 times more are getting, getting out of, the jobs are getting created in India. So we have nothing to lose.
Thanks a lot. That's a great insight on how you convert adversity to your advantage. Next question is, you spoke about business and growth. Yours is a listed company, but you are inherently in a market which is very cyclical. Markets go up, markets come down, real estate goes up, real estate comes down. Then you have things like Vastu and Ashad Masa coming up. And then you have the government that changes rules overnight. How do you ensure this uncertainty and variability in business does not reflect on your quarter-to-quarter growth? Because the markets expect you to grow quarter-on-quarter. How do you ensure this?
See, in real estate, the most difficult business for a listed company to show growth every quarter. One quarter will be very high, next quarter will be low, the following quarter will be higher than the last quarter. So it's like that. There is no way we can show the same growth that you're doing, because we don't know what happens. And strangely, the COVID times, people said everything is going to be bust. We did the highest turnovers. We did the highest turnovers. And 2022, if you take from January to December, the turnover is still the highest. Now, if you take 2022 to 23, we will be India's number one company in terms of turnover, even higher than DLF. And it's not something that we desired to be. It's just that it's happened because we kept pushing, and we have the material to offer to the customers. See, as an example, we got a RERA, approval as of yesterday. The building consists of 720 apartments. 701 have sold, 19 to go. In one day, in Bangalore, in one day. Yeah, in one day. So it's, there is a demand. Even though a lot of people say there is no demand, there is a demand, there is a shortage. There is still a million home shortage. People now today are thinking that, let me buy then rent, because the rent is equivalent to the EMI that I would pay. And also they're learning from the others that the prices are going up, and then what I could afford, a 4-bedroom 3 years back, now I can only buy a 2-bedroom. And maybe 5 years hence, they can only buy a bathroom. I don't know.
This is my next question, is on customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is a very important aspect when you buy a house. Having said that, every guy who buys an apartment has some grip or the other about the builder. That something leaks from here, the tap didn't work over. How do you manage customer perception and customer satisfaction? Because you have a great job to verify that people buy again and refer you to others. How do you manage this whole aspect of customer perception and satisfaction?
Actually, no one's satisfied. No one is. It's not possible to satisfy. Everyone is cribbing, and everyone wants that extra as well. Also, many people don't know that once you buy a car and take it out from the showroom, what you have is that, you go and scratch a car, you need to take it to the garage to get it fixed. If you don't, wash a car every day, then, car looks dirty. But still, there will be guys that will want something. And like you said, there will be also genuinely some problems will be there. That, there will be water that is leaking. Maybe everyone's only worried about two things: leak and a crack. Crack, we need to send it to the mental hospital. The leak, we need to fix it. So we have a team. We have what they call, I think the first people to do something called PDI, like they do in the cars. It's pre-delivery inspection. We do the inspection ourselves. That before we hand over, we must try and make sure that whatever has to be handed over, it has to be handed over in a way that is acceptable first to us and then to the customer. In spite of it, there would be some issues, and sometimes it's wrong. That guy would have called his interior decorators, busted up the apartment, dirtied it, and then called and said, look at how things are. We can't go and say, man, you did it. Those guys who came to do his apartment have gone and blocked the drains, there is leakage. If you pull out, you can find all the muck that these guys have thrown in. In spite of it, with a smile, we say, okay, we'll get it. You can't tell your wife it's your fault. It's my fault. I'll do it.
Last question.
That's what you say.
Two questions. Is there one question which many businesses go through? Is this thing of succession planning. Right? I mean, you've seen very successful businesses start floundering and the next generation takes over. How in your business do you handle ambition and how do you handle aspirations and how do you make sure that there is a separation between ownership and management?
See, first thing is just not succession. We also need to have a number two in every department that you have, be it legal, be it engineering, be it in CRM, be it in sales. You need a number two. Today there may be a very strong guy who's handling the sales or business development. You also have to think there has to be a number two and number three, just in case he decides to go overseas or find someone he wants to move to. So you shouldn't be left in a place where you are shaky or whatever. Same way, I think, you have to get your family, your children involved in the work that you're doing and slowly, steadily coax them into it. Finally, we have done what we have done. I've been now in business for 40 plus years. I don't know how long more we're going to be. They're going to take over. If they do well, they succeed. If they don't do well, it's bad luck. When we became a listed company, I said, okay, great, now we're going to be a listed company, we're going to get lots of money. I had imagined to sit under the coconut tree and drink pineapple juice. I said, I'll drink 1 liter. Still not drinking, we are still running. Because he said that word, every quarter you have to show progress. You have to show that you're working. They make you run. You're better off not being a listed company than a listed company. Because now you have to prove to someone. Yeah, you don't have to tell anybody what you're doing. And you'll ask me again, there are also takers for it. There'll be a lot of people saying that, we'll buy you out, we'll pay you. Today I heard Shobha is getting taken over. Shobha, yeah, Godrej is buying them over. Because you must have heard in the papers just now there is that first senior Mr. Menon resigned, then junior resigned. So it's like that, maybe after that, we are attached to what we built. Maybe our children will find another Godrej to get out and go and drink there. Maybe they won't drink pineapple juice, they may be drinking some other one, tomato juice again.
This is the last question. This is why you are a world-renowned noted filly. Have you heard the word, right?
Yeah.
You have a museum, and I would urge everybody to go see it if they haven't seen it. It's truly a place to visit.
Okay, let me tell. Actually, Sanjay brought the right point because that's something that I love, something that it's not a passion, it's an I own the world's largest collection of Indian paper money from the time it's begun. And I brought out a book in 2010 and then another one in 2017. It all started as saying that 2017 is when the 1 rupee, the lowly 1 rupee is going to be 100 years old. Because in those days the lowest denomination was 5, not 1. Because when they first started, they also had 10,000 in those days, 200 years ago. And the lowest was 10 rupees. In some cases, 1871, it was 5 rupees. So 1 rupee was somebody said, I'll write an article for one of the magazines, and then it turned out to be a book. Anyway, the first book was released by the RD of Reserve Bank, and the present governor of Reserve Bank of India, Shakti Kanda Das, was the one who released the 2017 book. I have a museum because you can't keep everything indoors, it has to be shown. So there is a museum, like he says, I would request that all of you come. The museum is at Prestige Falcon Towers, Brunton Road, and it's really worth your while. It has been very well explained, and we also have someone to take you around to show you at. It's something that I always tell people, when you go there, don't carry a gun. You know why? Because it will blow your mind anyway. So please do that. And I think now Sanjay will open this for any questions.
So you've seen how simply he puts his greatness in front of you. Well done, this one.
Thank you.
Sanjay, well moderated. Now we throw the update. Please come. He is the man behind, who's sitting behind, but he's the one who's organized everything. He got caught in the traffic because he has to pick up meetings.
Thanks.
So we'll put it to the floor. Please ask your questions. And what sort of question? Any questions?
Any questions?
Any questions?
Any question, doesn't matter. I'm happy to answer because, you know.
Let me pass the mic.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I'm a repeat customer of Prestige, so I'm not worried about my investment. I'm just asking a general question. There's a lot of talk that there is some 7 lakh flats unoccupied in India, and in Bangalore there are some, 1.5 lakh or whatever. Now you mentioned that 701 out of 720 were sold.
In a day.
In a day. So is it that reputed builders at a good location that is being sold, and there are pockets in the real estate which are doing very badly? Because some of my, I'm a finance consultant, some of my clients ask, should I put in stock market, should I put in real estate? Want to know your view on that.
No. Anyway, I don't think this is loud enough. I didn't actually come to answer that question, but it is very interesting. See, at one time, your, what do you call, information that 7 lakh apartments are empty, they aren't. There is a taker for every apartment. If you go to any Prestige building, the only way to know is go now, don't go home straight. Take a drive, Google will tell you the Prestige buildings. No, 1 minute, hear me, let me tell you. I'm coming to it. What I'm trying to say is, if you look up, all the lights in the balconies are on. So, they are occupied. If the lights are off, they are not occupied. Now, to answer your question, at one time, 3 years ago, we used to have 2 years of inventory. How much? 2 years of inventory for our sales. And you know what? Quarterly sales is 3,000 crores. Okay? Now, I don't even have inventory for 1 quarter. So, I've answered your question. So, you can tell your clients very safely, better than going behind Adani, real estate is still the best. And I do that because we have never chased the market, we have not invested, because anyone says invest in software, we say okay, you do the software, we'll be the provider for you, the infrastructure provider, I'll give you the space, you go and rent out. But we don't want to get involved, we only know one job. We do malls, we do hotels, we do apartments, we do commercial. Now we are getting into golf course is also one of the things. Hotels, golf course. I'm saying now we are getting into data also, data centers. But all this we are not. We build it and we rent it. We are not doing it ourselves. There is a very large Japanese company to whom we are talking, and hopefully that will be one more asset that we're going to create.
Before I pass to you, I just spotted a amazing presence. Stand up. Meet the chairman of RERA, Karnataka.
Formally.
That's
No,
okay.
I have not really come prepared for asking questions because, well, I am too familiar with the real estate sector. I was there for almost 4 years, and so I have seen how the regulation has evolved and how the top players in the country. Some of them are in Bangalore, like you, and large players. Most of them are here in Bangalore, no doubt. Yes, it's news to me to hear that the shop is being taken off by Godrej. Godrej is also in Bangalore. Anyway, so coming back to the subject, as I must say this without trying to praise anybody, that when going gets tough get going, this is true in this sector, when the regulatory setup started evolving, putting a lot of restrictions, lot of pre-approvals like registration, and bringing on a lot of discipline in the sector. The players who have always been more or less disciplined, they never had a problem.
Correct.
That is the reason why when prestige applications, whenever they used to come for registration, we had no difficulty because they were already following what was expected in the regulatory setup in terms of accountability, transparency, and various parameters which were already brought in, which were brought into a legislation, but which was already being followed. So, the problem happened in the sector on account of a large number of legacy projects which are pre-RERA projects. But I must say, again, not to praise because he's sitting here, none of these projects are incomplete. None of their projects are incomplete. More so, also, many of the large players that also as indicated, one more point is raised, that when you are doing business, you are going public, you are not accountable to the public, but you are accountable to yourself. But they have done it both ways. Which means even going before public or post-public, they have been the same. Which only shows that the people who are like them, people who have been having very consciously following their own norms and their own discipline, they have gone through the regulation in a like a walking in the park.
Right, 100%, 100%. Correct.
So, you have neither the good intention nor the ability, the simple thing which all of us know, somebody's land, somebody's money, and they became entrepreneurs. For what? Take the money out, buy land somewhere else. That all happened. That is a legacy which we have dealt with when the regulatory setup came in. So I am here today only just to come here, and I never wanted to speak, but then he handed over the mic to me. I don't know how he spotted me. I just came because Sanjay was been reminding me wanted to come and have chat and all. So anyway, so broadly this is the thing. In fact, I must say the regulatory framework provides for the gradation of the builders, developers. We have not gone that far, partly because state government has to initiate certain things, and we have number of issues in the regulatory sector, the real estate sector, where the huge stuff war which goes on, and I didn't want to, I'm sure, he did not come here to talk about the difficulties which they face.
Exactly.
All the delays, despite their best efforts, happened because of somewhere else something is happening. Somewhere else something is not coming through in time. Even when the project is completed, even to get an OC, there is enormous effort, and it is held up for no good reason. So there is a number of issues which happened, and we had a ridiculous thing in Karnataka. Now only it changed. Till the OC obtained, regular power sanction was not there. It is a laughable thing under the Electricity Act. Such a thing is not permissible, but finally government had changed. So people suffered, and then it came before us in the regulatory setup to deal with the matter. We had to go, and we had to even go to the extent of putting that additional burden on the developer, although it is not his fault, saying that during this period you have used construction power which is more expensive, so you take that much and you provide them some relief. That is the kind of thing. So therefore there is a lot we have done, what has been done by those who have a good intention, who have been there, strong players who have their own brand equity. Those who have been fly-by-night operators, that's a different story. Anyway, I am not going to give a lecture, this will be fun.
Amazing perspective.
Thank
Just an introduction now, and then I'll have Rez amplify. This is our police commissioner will be ready.
No, not good. I was Chief Commissioner Income Tax retired.
Chief Commissioner Income Tax retired, and then when RERA came about, he was the first commissioner
Correct.
for the state of Bangalore. How was your experience with him?
So what I do is, my job in the office is not to meet officers. And it's a fact because I don't venture, I only look after the rough people. The good-looking ones like this, the one that come for sales, that my brother handles. I only look after the constructions and the logistics. I make sure that the product is the best quality, done on time, and no excuses. This is my job. So I only meet contractors and vendors. So he wouldn't have met me. But the fact is, I will tell him, remind him since he was one of the first that we did one job. We just completed 3 months ago a development, 3,000 plus apartments. It's called Prestige Jindal City. It's on Tumkur Road. 3 lockdowns. We did it 2 months ahead of the time prescribed and handed over to the law. See, I told you there were 701 sales out of 720 in a day. It is only because we performed and we made sure we delivered. And he said, and there are no legacies and no excuses. I sell myself, but I'll make sure that my customers not let down. Ban karo sir. Enough.
It's lovely to be here today, sir. I was with Jaggi actually last Saturday in Goa, and I asked the same question that I asked him. That what is your secret source of your energy? And having done this for now 40 plus years, how do you continue to motivate yourself? And I'm just a decade-old entrepreneur now. So what is that secret sauce that you have to continuously deliver? The second thing that I would like to ask as well, you build beautiful products all the time, right, across the country. How do you motivate your workers on the ground, the construction laborer, the plumber, the electrician, the gardener, to do the best job?
There's a mic there. Can you use that? On the left. This is good.
Can you all hear? No. Huh? You can. Motivation is, it is only that, it starts from the top and you demand it and you get it. I always say that, what you demand is what you get. You don't demand it and there is no shortcuts. And that is the message is sent right from top. Now, if you go and tell somebody, you go to the site and you say a whole lot of debris on the ground, and you say, what the hell? Somebody should get this, some housekeeping needs to be done. That fellow who's the laborer say, yeah, sir, do housekeeping. I sit and eat here and you're telling it's dirty. So we have to get that into their head that, they have to do the job in a way that it has to be. The same thing has to be drilled to the guy below and to the last person. And the secret sauce is Maggie.
Last question.
So I wanted to ask you about, because in real estate, we come across this term always, which is very tempting, called distress. And now there is NCLT, some companies are bankrupt, builders are bankrupt, they have unfinished projects, etc. But generally, we've not seen Prestige go into those typical, what we say, the distressed opportunities. I mean, your hotels are all greenfield, you're built them from scratch. Typically, I think most Prestige projects, apart from some recent ones in Bombay, are where you have started from ground zero. So is it that what do you know about distress that generally we may not know,
Actually, we are not opportunists. I told you in the beginning. We let people make money out of us. We don't make money out of people. One. Second, the only thing that we did, I think, under NCLT is one job in Mumbai, which we call the Prestige City. Otherwise, we don't even go to the government for land. We buy land from the public, we manufacture it, we clean it up, make sure that, the titles are fine, and then we sell it. That way, the turnover is faster. The moment you get into this stress and distress projects, there are too many issues that need to be overcome. Everything is greenfield with us. Nothing is bought and done. We don't get involved with something half-done structure. You don't say, okay, that is going to give us more money. Good luck to the person who is going to take it and do it. We are not doing it.
So, in the news it's mentioned that our neighbors, like for example Pakistan and even China, like there's a lot of this border disputes. One thing, some analysis, some analysts said if we have big companies, whether it's real estate, automobile, to move to these states and start their operations there, it will play a vital role in developing the economy there, the people who are there, and defending our borders better. So does Prestige have any plans like over there?
See, it took us first 25 years to move out of Bangalore. And to move north of Bombay, it took us some 40 years. I don't think we're going to go beyond that. There are a lot of, because a lot of people, even 3 days back, somebody asked, he's talking of Pakistan and Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, etc. They said, Dubai, why don't you go to Dubai? I just said, what Dubai will I do? If my children want to do it, they'll do. But I don't think anyone has that because there is enough and plenty to do here. And one thing I want to tell everyone today, which you will be very proud of, is be Indian, buy Indian. Since I'm the buyer and I'm in charge of all the purchase that happens in the company, it's a huge amount of purchase that we do. I do not buy anything that is not Indian. A lot of people say, why don't you go to China and buy, you will make more money. I said, why should I go and buy and encourage the economy, make the economy grow? If I'm going to buy anything, let it be from a company in India because indirectly they'll come back to you because our economy will improve and we will do so. And also that also helps because I can't go now to China, Bangkok, Singapore, doing all these rounds to buy because then you'll have to send people. Then we don't know what those guys are up to, what they do, what they don't do. Here, whatever is made in India is what we buy. I have a chance, the owner of the company comes and has a coffee with me. And like I told you when there was COVID, nobody got material. I got it because we were buying everything from here and not from there. And if we were dependent on China, today we would be in real stress.
Okay, last question.
Last question.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
One thing I would want to ask, because you from almost 40 years of experience and I'm now starting my entrepreneurial journey, now everything is so fast. Now everyone wants everything fast. Blink it, 10 minutes mein groceries घर पे चाहिए. And things have been built like that. We building something for the end user, right? Does it actually matter जो always polished चीजें रहती हैं? Like you need you need to wear something to present something good or Excel sheets, ये all that या actual काम जरूरी होता है एक business बनाने के लिए?
Let me there was another question. Let me ask you to pick the words. After the last question. Okay, but go ahead and tell your question and let me should be given priority. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Razack. I'm really privileged to be here. So one thing that I think most people agree is that digitization or automation in real estate has been comparatively less when compared to other industries. So when it comes to investing in technology, right, sustainable technology, construction technology or whatever, automation, etc., do you feel that Prestige is going to increase its investments in general in the real estate industry or to increase its investments in terms of spending more on technology to enable its operations and construction, etc.?
Thank you for being kind and asking me to choose one of the two questions. Can I choose based on the looks? Anyway, I'll answer both. To answer his question first, the thing is that if you are not technologically advanced, you are going to be left behind. Nokia got left behind. iPhone came over. Like that, cameras have gone, films have gone. So you have to be, and we have put a lot of money on technology and we are still investing on technology. Everything is now everything that we do today is via technology itself. So, and we are also creating more to make sure that life becomes easy or dependent on this. And to answer this question, there is no such thing as everybody is in a hurry. They also want child to be born tomorrow. We still have to wait 9 months. So there's nothing called hurry. Whatever you do, you have to be patient. It's only then you get, maybe you got spoiled. You order grocery, reaches your house in 10 minutes. Only that earlier you would send your boy in the house or some domestic help or security or your driver to go get it. Now somebody is getting it for you. The trip is saved. It used to be 10 minutes, but actually 10 minutes to go and 10 minutes to come. It used to be 20. Now somebody is picking it up and dropping it to you. It's digitized. And just to tell you, 23 years, maybe in the year 2000, predicted that today you won't need any cash to go around. If you have your phone with you, it's more than enough. Even the card is useless. People said I was mad. I had predicted this. With this, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rez.
So, can we take a picture with Rez? Yes. How do we do the picture now? Oh, by the way, I want to give a shout out to Arvind Shenoy. Arvind, take a bow. He's done audio visual, which is why today's was a really smooth experience, and I bet our YouTube broadcast has gone on well as well. So,
one regret, not one of the ladies spoke up.
she has a question.
Okay, we'll answer the ladies.
Hi sir, I'm an advocate. So in the recent past, I've been representing a number of distressed home buyers. My experience has been that the law is often insufficient to really help these home buyers. So what is your opinion on the existing legal system, and do you think it is really effective or efficient when it comes to helping home buyers who purchase dream apartments and flats and then they were not happy?
Buy distressed apartments or to buy apartments?
The legal scenario, sir,
Huh?
After buying, then it is buy.
after buying the apartments, and they have lost faith.
No, that is not because of that. See, we have somebody, Mr. Reddy from RERA. Today there is, the law is very stringent. And if they've gone and paid money to someone without taking proper legal help prior to purchase, then it's their fault. You agree with Mr. Reddy?
You want some clarity on the matter? You really need an answer for it? Then I can. Yeah,
I just mic you. I'll just mic you.
And just go to the washroom.
Are you saying that some of the home buyers have bought apartments without realizing that the apartment does not provide whatever is promised in terms of specifications and amenities and in terms of timelines? What exactly the issue? See, the regulatory setup has made all these things transparent. It has to be on the web-based. It has to be shown on the website. What has been provided and shown on the website, that is what has to be delivered. And if there are any shortfalls, and which is also reflected in the agreement for sale, and all the shortcomings and shortfalls and delays, there are certain interest and other consequences, compensation and such other consequences that the developer has to bear. It is a legal process. That's what if you are addressing, that is the legal process. Now, if they have not been delivered, apartments have not been delivered, there are two things which can happen. The law provides for, if the apartment has not been delivered in time as per the promised delivery date, then they are entitled to exit from the project and seek for the refund with interest, full interest. Alternatively, even if there is a delay, if the buyer is willing to accept it, then for the delay period there is an interest which is to be paid, which is well regulated now. Gone are the days when they used to write, like instead of giving you a fraction, it may work out a fraction, they say 2 rupees per SFT for the delay period, 2 rupees per SFT
is the rent notionally calculated and given per month. Now, those days have gone. Now, it is all by law. It is superseded. Whatever you may write in the agreement, law supersedes all those one-sided agreements. That's the most important part which has come through regulation. So, that's what. So, regulatory setup takes care of most of these difficulties. So, only thing is the person may have to file a case before RERA, if it's in Karnataka RERA, to see that his issue is addressed. In the meantime, maybe the builder, if he is someone who has got some image in the market, he has intention to do business further, he may come back and he may negotiate and settle the matter. That's what happens most often. But if he has no such intention, like I was mentioning some of the legacy projects, if there is one of those which has happened prior to RERA and they have no part of that, then there are issues and it will go on for some time, because it is hard to get some of those promoters who are no longer available. That's difficulty. Yeah.
So, Gaurav, can you come and say?
One of the photo you said, sir?
Yeah, one photo, yes.
But before that, just
I really want to appreciate the depths to which we plumbed today, courtesy of Rez. So let's give a big hand. And Mr. B.B. Reddy was a cherry on the cake, which is really fantastic. So let's take a picture. So please keep seated. Like, can you switch the lights on so that we can see the people in the back, and they will do a selfie kind of thing. The other later. I don't want to move you around. So can you, Gaurav, can you have the lights switched on, please?
Yes, sir, yeah. Can you take a picture?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you have to do a selfie?
Yeah, just.
Sir, I have a habit.
What will